Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. If you have not downloaded the updated version of my weather app on for the iPhone or for your Android device, do it now, and you'll find that your local forecast and your current conditions they default to your location. You no longer have to put in your location. And also there's a tab for Long Island forecast that I do occasionally update and will be updating on a regular basis in the next coming weeks. If you are looking for weather posts today on Facebook, you're going to have a problem. I'm having an issue with Facebook. My content yesterday was labeled as quote unquote abusive. So they knocked me out for 7 days. I appealed it. Of course, you don't speak to anybody, and they never really tell you exactly what the problem is. I have no idea what it is. But bottom line is I'll be able to sneak links on in comments on posts today. And if you want to go to the website, you can do it that way. So let's look at what's happening weather-wise this morning, because we do have, we had a cold front move through last night. I think I heard some rumbles of thunder at one point during the early morning hours. But that front now is offshore and skies have cleared out behind it. And this is going to be the pattern for the rest of the week. Just going to keep getting these weak weather fronts coming through. We have another one due on Thursday that might have a shower with it. And then another one perhaps late on Saturday, a bit of a backdoor front that's going to be coming down. So ahead of these fronts, you'll have reasonable days with reasonable temperatures. The day the front arrives, you'll warm up a bit, and those are the days we'll see temperatures pop back up above 80 or so, only to cool back down following it. No widespread rain for the next 5 to 7 days, no big storms. You can see Tropical Storm Jerry on the lower right. And when we go to the visible, the center is partially exposed, although we've seen a little bit of convection develop on the southwest side. But this is going to pass. It looks like the center is going to pass west of Bermuda by a fair distance, and it's not going to have an opportunity to develop. We're going to look at Tropical Storm Karen in a moment. But here's the wide satellite view this morning. And this dry September pattern just goes on and on. Here's your weather front that's offshore. You've got dry air that covers much of the eastern half of the United States. And you have, of course, action that's going on throughout the northern plains and eventually into the western lakes. Other than that, really not a whole lot happening here across the U.S. And this is typical for this time of year. The pattern weather usually gets pretty quiet during September and through at least the first part of October. So as we go forward, just taking a look at the GFS weather model today. We've got this high, so we'll have nice weather today from northeast Virginia to southern New England. Nice weather for Wednesday. And then here's our weak front that comes along for Thursday. You see it right here. And there's another weak high behind it. That front looks like it might even come through dry. A little bit of rain up in northern New England, and that's it. And then Friday looks reasonable. We warm up again on Saturday with another cold front. This one might have a couple of showers with it that comes in Saturday evening or Saturday night. And you'll see it here, the weather front coming through. And we have a high, a rather nice high that is going to be building into southeastern Canada and New England, and that is going to push this next front by next Sunday down into the mid-Atlantic states, and we're going to have to deal with an onshore flow. But this is one of those situations that if the high builds down far enough south, you could get the dry air to push and skies to clear out. So I'm thinking that the weather should be nice for much of the time with no serious issues to speak of. So as far as high temperatures are concerned today, we're going to be mainly in the 70s. You can see it here. Everybody from northeast Virginia to southern New England, pretty much in the 70s. A few warm spots down in Maryland above 80. A few cool spots in northeastern PA and the Hudson Valley just underneath 70. Wednesday, everybody's going to be in the 70s. So warm spots will be up around 80. Thursday, we are looking at that warm day ahead of the next cold front, and temperatures climb up Looks like the range might be about 80 to 85, and then we'll cool back off on Friday, back into the 70s, nudge above 80 again on Saturday before a cold front goes by, and then we'll cool it off a little bit on Sunday as the onshore flow begins to take over. Now, quickly, we'll run through the tropics, and Tropical Storm Karen is back. Apparently, Karen called the manager, and we have a convection that developed near the circulation center overnight. The shear looks to be a bit less, so top winds are 40 miles an hour. The big emphasis here for Karen is really the rain more than the wind. And tropical storm warnings are up for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. They will be getting very heavy rains, and Karen is not really moving all that fast here. Here's a wide view, and you've got Karen, you have Jerry, which is up to the northwest of Karen, and you'll notice that while those clouds are still blowing off, we talked about this yesterday, that northeasterly shear, it is a bit less, and that's allowed convection to flourish. And in the lower right, you have Lorenzo on the far lower right, and that is really a well-defined system, and it's huge when you look at it on the satellite in terms of the geography it's covering. This is going to become a major hurricane, and down the road, that hurricane, as it recurves out into the open Atlantic, may wind up having some implications on the overall pattern across the northern hemisphere. So it might be something to pay attention to in the long haul perspective. Here's Karen's forecast track, because this is really the one that we'll have to watch as it moves north of Puerto Rico and kind of moves north or northeastward very slowly. Again, we're going to be watching for a big upper high to develop that's going to turn it back perhaps to the west. Now, what we're going to be dealing with and how much of this storm we're going to actually have once it gets on the other side remains to be seen. But you see the blue area for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands of tropical storm warnings at 17.2, 65.8, top winds of 40 miles per hour. And this is as of the 8 a.m. advisory, moving north at 7 miles an hour. And for Jerry, passing pretty close to Bermuda on Wednesday, with the center passing close to Bermuda. Much of the activity is not near where the center is, but top winds with Jerry are 60 miles per hour, right now moving north at 8 at 30.5 and 68.9, and we have tropical storm warnings that are up for the island of Bermuda. And Lorenzo is going to become a major hurricane, but it won't even make 50 degrees west as it recurves out into the open waters of the Atlantic. So we have taken you through everything that is going on this morning weather-wise. Again, download my weather app on Google Play or on the App Store, meteorologist Joe Cioffi. There are links all over the place, and this is where you'll get your weather information. Be sure you have your notifications turned on, because this way, when weather stuff comes out, you will get notified and you can check it out. Until I can figure out what this Facebook mess and how to fix it. But it's for 7 days. I've had this happen before, and magically the stuff has come back sooner. So who knows? I'm just trying. I'm not going to be focusing my attention anymore on that platform. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the aggravation. So anyhow, that's Weather in 5 for today. We'll have our regular YouTube live stream tonight at 7 o'clock on my YouTube channel, where I have seldom had an issue there. So you might want to check us out on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel for free. Just use your Gmail account. And you can also participate in the chat, which we certainly encourage, or at least leave some comments with regards to what you're thinking. And I always try and get back to you in a timely fashion. And for those of you who are really in the weather geek mode, or you need a more intensive weather experience for your day-to-day weather needs, you can jump on my weather platform on Patreon, which is a subscription platform. It's just $2 a month, and that's patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Cioffi. And the subscription to Patreon, plus if you're a Facebook supporter, that helps to offset the cost of the app. And I really appreciate those who have done that, joining up the platforms in order to support the app. It helps keep it free, and it helps keep costs down. Thanks very much, folks. So we'll see you later, and we'll see you tomorrow on Weather in 5.